Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, that's a legit microphone.
It's usually hidden in my Zoom calls, so I'm excited.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's like the size of your head.
I know
it is. Yes, it is.
Look at our beautiful art in the background. We all have amazing, like, colorful pops.
Yeah, I love it. I'm excited.
What's that behind? Is that like a lake?
Yeah, it's actually a lake in Florida. My husband and I got married in Florida.
Nice.
Neither of us are from there. We just happen to have one of his family members there, and we loved it. We went over Thanksgiving and we booked a venue, and we ended up getting married there. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Awesome. This is actually where I got married. At my in-laws' place on the coast. So that's
awesome.
one of my friends flew a drone up during the wedding and sent us this photo.
Wow, where is it?
It's near. It's like near between Santa Cruz and Half Moon Bay in California.
Yeah, I'm from the Bay Area. So where exactly?
Oh, Pescadero.
Pescadero, yeah.
Between Pescadero and Davenport. So the sad thing is a lot of these trees are gone now
because of the
fires. But it was a beautiful sunset that night.
Hello, Lorena. How you doing?
Thank you. I am good. I am ready.
Me too. I always get anxious before speaking engagements, and then I calm down.
You're gonna be awesome. I'm so excited to have you all with me.
We're live. Okay, I love it.
Yay! Awesome. So I'll give folks a couple minutes to join before we get started. Hello, everyone joining.
Yes, hello and welcome. I love it. I recognize a few names in the audience. I'm so jazzed to be here.
Likewise.
Your fan club. Well, thank you.
I can't wait until we can do a Women in Revenue in-person event again. Lynn and I have fond memories of being back at Autodesk, I think 2 Augusts ago now.
My goodness.
It's wild. It's been so long.
It's been way too long.
All right. Are we ready to get started?
Let's do it.
Awesome. Well, hello, everyone. I'm Lynn Powers. I am a mid-market sales director here at Clary. I'm thrilled to be here with the Clary team and all of the attendees here at GenR. Today, I'm excited to bring together these powerful women leaders to discuss how women in revenue are leading collaboration across revenue teams. In partnership with Women in Revenue, Clary is aiming to bring diversity to the spotlight. If you're not familiar with Women in Revenue, it's a nonprofit organization that is empowering women leaders in sales, marketing, and customer success. I'll post a quick little link in the chat if anyone's interested in learning more about Women in Revenue. This topic is incredibly important to me. Women in Revenue is a community of over 4,000 revenue professionals. And as a woman in revenue myself, it's incredibly important to me. I am a successful rep here at Clary and have the privilege of also managing the social media for Women in Revenue. So I want to quickly take a moment just to briefly introduce our panelists today who are sharing their insights with us. We have Maya Connett, who is a director of sales here at Clary. She started her career in marketing and communications before transitioning to the Wall Street Journal, where she worked with ad sales for about 5 years, selling print, digital, custom content, and sponsorships to marketers. She's focused on B2B technology verticals and moved to Marketo, where she fell in love with SaaS sales. Now she runs the Commercial West sales team here at Clary and loves partnering with hyper-growth companies and revenue leaders. She's also a new mom to 6-month-old Charlotte. And then we also have Farconda Stewart, who's the Director of Customer Success of Strategic Accounts at Smartsheet. Farconda is one of Silicon Valley's top customer success advocates. She's worked as a customer champion with B2B SaaS industries for over 13 years, while developing a unique track record for creating exceptional, loyal customers and teams. As a customer success leader, Farconda is passionate about delivering memorable customer experiences, measurable ROI for teams, and fostering a really fun, collaborative team culture. And then lastly, we have Lorena Morales, who is a VP of Marketing at Go Nimbly. Lorena is a skillful storyteller and relationship builder. She uses these skills in her approach to both marketing and leadership, which has allowed for her to grow teams for the past 7 years. In the interest of making the most of every minute, she's also lived in and worked in several countries around the world, as well as earned her master's degree in international marketing and strategic design management, which has helped serve her to understand customers through a different lens of both design thinking and service design. So welcome, ladies. We're excited to have you join us today. As a reminder to everyone joining our session, we'll be taking questions at the end of the session. So please feel free to leverage the chat and we will be happy to answer those. If we don't get to them during today's session, we'll do our best to respond to them afterwards. So welcome, everyone. I'll go ahead and stop sharing my screen so we can see everyone's beautiful faces. So to kick us off here, we're starting to see this shift towards leaders who believe in transparency. And across a couple of the sessions that we've seen today, we've seen leaders talk about this trust and collaboration. You three are all really pros at this. And at the heart of that is really the culture that you build across teams. I'd love to kick us off here by learning how each and every one of you are encouraging these values throughout your organization. Lorena, do you want to kick us off?
Sure thing. Thank you for the intro, Lynn, by the way. You're fantastic at that. And I think I want to kind of connect my background in design thinking and one of the few marketers that actually spend money on educating myself on these methodologies. And I think if, like to your point on like how women are starting to collaborate more with all the revenue generation instances of the business, I think the pandemic, if it showed us something, it was the perspective of, oh, we need to double down in customer-focused initiatives, not only product-led. I still believe that product-led companies are going to persist. However, my mentality is more customer-faced product execution. Because yes, you need to be iterating fast, but those iterations need to come directly from your customer. And so if you think about it, and everyone in the audience, a lot of revenue generally, especially in SaaS and PaaS, we are starting to see that around 40 to 50% of general revenue is coming renewals, upsells, and cross-sells. Is it a coincidence? Not really. We all have known that it's easier to retain a customer than to gain a new one. So what I am trying to say here is every single, like regardless if you're in marketing, sales, customer success, I think every single person in the executive teams need to be understanding of what's my customer journey, obsess about that, and therefore execute on the product side. I was hearing Patrick at ProfitWell, where he was saying a lot of companies invest around 60% of the total marketing budget in net new. Mistake. Let's start being more strategic about the money that we spend in customer marketing, in programs that are gonna really align all your instances, your GTM teams, and your operations teams. So I think if we need to think something for this crazy world is that transition to companies starting to talk more often to their customers. And I might be a little biased here, but I think women in general, we have a skill set that is unique to build the rapport with clients, even though men can be really good as well. But I think there's something about the GenR here that kind of allow us to connect deeply with our customers. And I've seen that at my company and at our clients. So yeah, that's how I wanted to kick off this event, to kind of see and double down on what I've been perceiving through the pandemic, and how I think this movement of customer-centric methodologies is not going to go anywhere.
I could not agree more, Lorena. So collaboration around customer wins, around ensuring our customers have a seamless, world-class experience is everything that customer success stands for. And it's something I'm really honored to build my career on and enable those customer advocates in the field to go deliver wins in collaboration with their sales and marketing partners. And so something that we do at our organization at Smartsheet is we really empower our teams to work together to collaborate on a regular basis, providing them the foundation to really deliver those wins to customers to help change their business outcomes. And we really look for that DNA, not only in our values and action, as we bring on new people into the organization and we can continuously work together, but also that DNA of change agents. Like, are our customer success professionals, our account executives, our marketing professionals really collaborating to drive change within the organizations and in the lives of the people that they impact day to day. So that's really, really important to me. And it's something that's hard to hit on in any kind of job description. I think, Maya, you had mentioned that's something that you really integrate into your hiring practices, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So that collaborative DNA is something I ask about. We're hiring really quickly here at Clary, and I am always looking for how somebody will make an impact outside of just what they're getting paid for. So on my team, they're getting paid to hit their number, they're getting paid to overachieve, but I want somebody who's truly going to make the processes that they're engaged in better, who are going to teach and bring their external expertise and really help us on this journey as a company. So the way we like to kind of pressure test for that too when we're interviewing, and we like to ask people like what they're most proud of personally and professionally, and the way they tell a story around that really can illuminate that they're willing to not be that lone wolf and really collaborate and work with cross-functional partners in many states. So love to make sure that we're, and again, like doing things you're not getting paid for is the name of the game.
These are all really incredible examples of how you guys are all holding value throughout your day-to-day jobs. I think, Lorena, you mentioned something super important to, I think, every revenue leader, which is being customer-centric. Farkhanda, how do we find those DNA impact makers? And then Maya, applying both of these things when we're thinking about hiring. Would love to hear from the team here around the insights of tactically, what does this mean for you all? What are the ways that you're consistently and creatively staying transparent cross-functionally throughout the revenue org? Farkhanda, did you want to kick us off on this one?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, it really starts at the leadership level, ensuring that we hold the same set of values, and we're going to hold our teams accountable to those values, to creating visibility and accountability across the organization. So something that I've done not only at Smartsheet, but at previous organizations is that we have joint QBRs internally so that we can talk about one perspective that we're bringing to the customer or about the customer and how we're going to help them be successful long term. In fact, today happens to be one of the days we have QBRs for our new quarter. But that's just one of the ways. A couple of our CSMs are creating really creative things. We drink our own champagne here at Smartsheet. And so they create dashboards to keep the entire account team accountable for driving results within the customer base. So that kind of stuff is so exciting to us. It goes beyond just product and collaboration on its own, but it creates a culture of trust and transparency that we are really driving towards the same goals.
Great point, Farkhanda. I think QBRs in general are a great way to start to smash some of these silos that happen between marketing, customer success, and sales. One thing that I would love to hear from the team is each of you are from different areas of the revenue org, but I think it's really vital for these teams to not be siloed within the revenue organization. Todd McKinnon earlier today mentioned the ideal state of having that closed loop between revenue teams to help with top of funnel or delivering value post-sale for upsells and cross-sells. I'm curious to hear from you all. What do successful handoffs look like across the revenue teams when building out new teams or scaling a team really quickly? Maya, did you want to kick us off for this question?
Absolutely. I'm personally very passionate about this. I think that we need to be partners, as there should be no break in that partnership. And the handoff is like the most crucial point throughout. So what that means for us here at Clary is actually before we even officially won a new contract, a new customer, we have an account manager already assigned so that the moment they get the welcome to Clary email, they have that account manager, the customer success manager, the implementation manager, all lined up in their inbox, ready to help them succeed right away. So that's been a shift in that there is no gap. We are consistent from the second you're welcomed on board, and it's really shown to keep that consistency throughout.
I think proactively having post-sales prepared, especially when it's the handoff from sales to customer success or to an account management team, is obviously vital. Lorena, curious to hear from your lens, from a marketing side of the house, what does this mean for you in terms of collaboration across these orgs?
Love it, Maya, by the way. I think there's three things that are key here. Number one, as Maya was saying, why are we so used to bring customer success after opportunity? At Go Nimbly, we do the same. With the top accounts, so let's call it the whales or the tier ones, it's executive team actually that comes all the way, even in the prospecting call. Of course, if the account is qualified already. So the customer doesn't really interact with 7 different people, and at the end, nobody knows exactly where are the nodes of that account. So if that accountability starts from the very beginning, I'm not saying it's scalable because not every account is going to be worth that investment. But at least for the tier ones, it's something that we absolutely do and that we're encouraging our customers to do. Second, where do we start? I think for me, it's kind of tricky to talk about sales and marketing alignment because I think the entire thing where the silos were created were lead generation programs back in 2004, 2007, 2011, were not only encouraged, but leveraged because we didn't have the systems in marketing ops to really know the emails or the addresses or the kind of the enrichment of the accounts. And so when you think about it, when sales started to say, you know what, I'm sick of calling these leads that are not even warm, it started because executives forced marketing to just bring a bunch of leads, doesn't matter if they were qualified or no, and then send them to sales, hoping that they would convert. Of course, sales didn't want to talk to those customers. But if we go to today, where a lot of the infrastructure is in place in order to really know your ICP and your TAM, et cetera, there's no such a thing as misalignment if you go after the right accounts at the right moments. So that's number one. But how do you make sure that your teams are working together, which is not the same as alignment? I think, Lynn, it's about having, and we talk about this at Go Nimbly very often, how do you make sure that you have the same North Star? I think the days where marketing was reporting to the CEO on website engagement or traffic or social likes or increase on content consumption, yes, those are important. You need to kind of take the temperature in order to know what's working. But at the end, I think every single head of the revenue team needs to be focusing on volume, value, velocity, and conversion rates. For us, is right now part of our IP where it's a 3BC framework, and we measure every single instance through the entire funnel. And so I think that's how you start. You start by putting that in the mind of everyone, and after that is going to come the accountability on how you reach volume or value or velocity.
Really great points, Lorena. And I think it's such an interesting take too to understand from a technology perspective of what's transformed the culture of sales and marketing in general has definitely changed. And I think one thing that you brought up that's really important is how do we lead with the executive team and have this alignment of the North Star? That way we can continuously collaborate together. Farkhanda, curious for your take, what does successful handoffs look like for your team?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's all about that information flow. So making everything visible that was present in the sales cycle, in all of those touches that you talk about, Lorena, and really understanding how that makes up the current customer state and how we're going to move forward together as an account team to support that customer long term for years and years to come, especially as product evolves and customers' goals and business needs evolve. We need to come to the table to provide solutions that continuously evolve the partnership together long term. So lots of opportunities for us to share that information, whether it's in regular cadence meetings between account team members, AEs, CSMs, our different field marketing professionals who support us, and all of these amazing virtual events that are happening right now. That are just in time, and also a tremendous way to get folks from across the world together within a short time frame.
Totally relate to that. As a seller myself, I think having business objectives for the customer is some ways that as a seller you can stay customer centric, is having that top of mind, because even throughout a sales cycle, those are going to continuously evolve as the company grows. As they become a customer throughout the customer success journey, how do those continuously evolve, and how are we attaching what the value we provide as a seller to some of those business objectives? So love that point for Conda. One other question that I have for the team is, having this fast loop between these various groups become very hard as you scale. We've heard today across different revenue leaders that these changes that happen, whether they go public or if they are going through a merger and acquisition, these are constantly top of mind for leaders. I think you all have been a part of growing companies, whether that be public companies, private companies, or any with M&A activity. How has being a more collaborative leader helped you throughout your career in these different types of companies?
I'll kick us off. So first and foremost, I think just having that DNA of collaboration and wanting to drive change across the organization has helped me personally in my brand, and getting partnership from sales, our VP of sales, or from marketing, or even from product, to come to the table and be willing and open to listen to feedback from our customers, to be able to listen from feedback to those customer advocates that are out in the field, really supporting our customers' business outcomes day to day. I think that in itself drives huge change that we don't necessarily track on the day to day. It's not part of our KPIs, but gosh, when it comes down to it, it makes such a difference to have people who have that open door policy of collaboration and willing to build trust and transparency across different teams, whether that means there's a specific need right now, or if there's opportunities to improve the customer experience long-term by coming together.
Well, yeah, I think for me, to your point on touching on sales, I'll be honest, people, for me, it was forced. I didn't even know if I wanted to work with sales, because historically, I am not that competitive, honestly. I hate being in loudy spaces. So I was like, sales? I don't know. And so before my position at GoNimbly, I was forced to work on sales enablement, simply because I couldn't make decisions without the right information in the CRM. And so I took it as a selfish kind of thing, where I was like, I need to be effective. Okay, let me work with sales. Today at GoNimbly, I think that transition, now it's so enjoyable, because I understood that there's no way for you to be an effective marketer if you don't share. Here's the thing. I got rid of the word ownership. At GoNimbly, there's no such a thing. It's not that I own content and nobody else can touch it. I don't own brand. I am responsible for whatever happens around branding, partnerships, field, whatever it is, because I need to be accountable for my teams. But that ownership doesn't exist because everyone should be kind of working around the same goals. And so for me, it's been amazing to know that, number one, I am not alone. ABM, for example, it's not marketing. We actually call it ABR. So it's account-based revenue programs. It's so nice to finally come to work and say, if I F up something, there's my CRO. And it's not like coming to the CEO saying, oh, Lorena messed this thing, which, okay, yes, it happens sometimes. But it's so nice to know that we can work together towards net new or impact to revenue. And secondly, like that sharing space and that peace of mind on knowing that you have a team is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, and perfect segue from that is I took a class a long time ago in psychology that taught me that relationships need to be thought of, especially for women, are often thought of in a circle, right? And so I'm always thinking about that circle in every single engagement throughout my day is how can we constantly be ensuring that the wheel is turning in a way we're all working together and it isn't a triangle, right? It isn't that hierarchy of like, you're one, you're doing this project, I'm doing this. Like, so I'm always thinking about that. And it's a perfect, the two of you shared that perfectly in how you actually act on that every day. So just a nice visual to close this out on.
Yeah, and I definitely echo everything that you ladies have talked about. I think as a seller, it's vital for me to be able to lean on customer success to understand what are those key use cases that we're doing, lean on marketing to understand how can I build my pipeline even more to hit my targets. And obviously, as Maya talked about, having this collaboration between these are going to inevitably make us more successful. One thing that you mentioned, Farkhanda, I think was super important is your perspective as a leader at Smartsheet is Smartsheet's a team collaboration technology company. It's incredibly fascinating what you guys are doing. What are some of those favorite tools and technologies that you guys are leveraging for collaboration, maybe even outside of Smartsheet, of course?
I was going to say we drink our own champagne. And, so today we drink a lot of our own champagne. We're looking at opportunities for us to use things outside of, in addition to rather, Salesforce, Tableau. So we have our customer intelligence hub, or we create a customer intelligence hub where we're really looking at multiple points, touch points with the customer base, whether it's through marketing communications or events or actual engagements, bringing it all together to create a health score. So those are some fun things that we have in the works right now. I don't have a list of names because we're investigating what that could look like and how we move forward as a larger organization. And it will impact all of us, right? It will impact every team, marketing, sales, product, you name it. Ensuring that we all deliver in that same consistent fashion across the board. And I've used so many different technologies at previous organizations, things like Gainsight, things like email, different email marketing solutions like Outreach and Yesware. But ultimately, it comes back to how do we leverage them in the right way to capture what's occurring in the customer lifecycle. Then how do we deploy that data so that it's actionable beyond, did it happen? So now what are we doing based on that signal? What do we do? And I think a lot of that depends on each one of our teams taking action at that right time to support our customer base.
Really great points, Farkhanda. I think overall, I know we're right up here at time, but one thing that I can preach about this group here is they have incredible advice on how to build these highly collaborative and transparent revenue organizations. And so I thank you all for joining me on this panel today. Encourage everyone that has joined our session to connect with these ladies. They are incredible women in revenue. And to close out our session today, I would also love to encourage you guys to navigate back to the main stage. We have our DJ Hesta to get us really pumped to hear from Ramin Sarar. He's the CEO of Sumo Logic. Sumo Logic recently went public in the fall of last year, and Ramin will be discussing the transition from a public to a private to a public offering. So we'll discuss metrics that matter to him and how these collaborative teams can work together in unison for a public offering. So thank you everyone for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone.